Today, being a CMO, I think is rapidly changing in terms of both the challenges and the opportunities that we face. And it's not about the CMO itself, it's about the customer and the fact that the customer's needs are changing, their expectations are higher than ever, and where and how and when we interact with them and how they interact with us is changing rapidly. And so every change we make today, everything we look at is centered around that view. It doesn't take much to realize that a customer is living in the digital world today. They live in and out of the digital world, and they can jump in and out pretty seamlessly, and they expect us to follow suit. So today, you look at the facts, 60% of the research done is done online, so customers get 60% of the way down the decision tree before they even engage a company face-to-face. So we have to be there, we have to have relevant content there, and we can't expect that they're necessarily going to come to us. We use social listening to make many decisions and to figure out customer sentiment, but it doesn't just stop with our listening. It's about how we respond and how to respond quickly. And so now it's about having a two-way conversation, about making sure you've actually got the right experience in terms of real larger projects you would invest in online, but then having a much more agile way of communicating with customers and meeting their needs in the moment. And that's not something we were equipped to do even 3 years ago. I'd say both internally and externally, we've changed quite a bit. And so if you look externally at what we've done, even in our agency relationships, we've really moved to a best-of-breed or agency of collaboration model. So having best-in-class digital capability, having best-in-class branding expertise, and having deep wealth knowledge to us were really important aspects of being able to interact much better with the customer and meet their needs faster, and at the same time be able to, within ourselves, pull together those areas. And even digital is not a category, right? So you need to have everything from best-in-class SEM expertise in-house and out-of-house, best-in-class social expertise, and those are pockets that are rapidly changing in terms of the craft. And the other big area of change that we've made recently is when I became CMO, we brought together our marketing and our strategy organizations. And that was a big change and was in recognition of the fact that the macro environment is changing rapidly, segments are changing, product needs and innovation capabilities are changing, and at the same time, there are some traditional aspects of marketing that need to stay the same. I think that it's less that the value has changed, I think the nature of advertising is changing before our eyes today. Traditional advertising had, obviously, TV was a big medium and continues to be different, but messages were going through more traditional, more one direction, and a little bit more about set the campaign, see it through, measure response, decide how to react differently. And so how we're thinking about it is a little bit blowing up that model. We still obviously do very traditional campaigns. There's definitely a role for that today. But I would say the way we're thinking about advertising is much more about test and learn than we ever have. It has to, is my view. It has to, because a bank, we have 46,000 people in our bank, so it's a large organization. And at the same time, you have to move at the speed of light to deliver what our customer needs. So we've tried things like using Vine video, which is something that even a year ago, I'm not sure we would have used as a bank, right? It's a much more casual medium. It's obviously low-fi in terms of production, but we had incredible cost per engagement result from that. We got the message across. It showed something that was practical for customers, and so we're learning quickly from that. Our starting point is saying it's regulation for a good reason, and we have to live and obviously comply within it, and let's think about how to do it in a way that's going to be for the good of our customers and obviously work for us from a productivity perspective as well. And if you think about data today, customers have expectations that we are going to keep their data secure. That's just tickets to the game. But then beyond that, we're not going to do anything creepy with their data, right? And it is interesting how big data, you hear a lot about big data today, there are a lot of things you can do that start to straddle that line. We're going to be able to use their data in a way that meets their needs and furthers their thinking, helps them make decisions. We're not going to do something that's going to be seen as an overuse or an overstep of their data. I think where we've had great headway in data is managing our information even internally in much better ways. So taking unstructured data, different fields that we wouldn't have ever been able to access before, bringing them together in a way that manages, I don't like the term leads, but really manages leads in a much more real-time basis. I think when they're interacting has changed, so you've got a fraction of attention, a fraction of a moment to make an impression. And whether that's serving up content that's going to be helpful for a customer or prospect, or helping them transact, right, with just a much more intuitive experience, if you will. That's actually a huge change for us in terms of how we're interacting with customers.